Teresa Snider, and I'm a former corporate sales exec turned lifestyle entrepreneur, bringing conscious conversations and extraordinary leaders out into the world. And it really is such an honor to have Sheila realize your vision. How apropos for all of us that are on the last 70 something, just 70 few days of the 2019. So Sheila, thank you. Thank you for being here in my casual atmosphere of this Thursday or whatever day of the week it is. I don't even know.
You know what? You're so real, Teresa. I love it. You're beautiful. You're being you. And sometimes I think many of us have a hard time doing that, but I think it's so critical in running your business. People want to know, like, and trust you. How do you do that being false and unless you're yourself? And believe it or not, sometimes it's hard to do that.
You know, Sheila, it really is. It really is. And we get those outside voices. And I'm going to bring up that Patty Mays is watching. And
I love Patty. Oh my God, she's a goddess.
Patty. She interviewed me this morning, and hence the space that I'm in right now of, her advice wasn't even advice. It's like we have to quiet. People a lot of times have ideas and opinions.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just have to trust our own inner being and being real. It's in this society of Instagram and Facebook highlight reels and keeping up with the Joneses and people at events that I know that they think it's advantageous to post a lot of their wins. Yeah, we want to see some of their losses too. So tell us, who are you? I want to know all about it.
Oh my God, just what you just said, I could go all day with that about losses. Like, I feel like I'm in the space. So I believe in a higher source. Mine happens to be God, and he's been calling me, Teresa.
Yeah, me too.
And I've been trying to hide. I've been trying to hide, and he won't let me. And, interestingly enough, I'm not a spring chicken. But what happens here is when you're taking action, and you just trust that you're going to get what you need, the stuff just comes up. And on that topic about sitting still, being quiet, just being yourself, the whole thing with social media, like abuse showed up in my life. And I had never even realized that. But for the first time in my life, I thought, don't look at them, look at you. What are you doing, to really attract that? But I bring a lot of what I'm saying. Lachelle.
I know, right?
Oh my God, she's such a beautiful soul.
I know. Do we not have just this enriched moment in time where are you today? What state?
I'm in California.
Okay, so you're in California, and I'm in Texas, and all these people from different parts of the world. So ladies, thank you for tuning in and being here with us as we're getting open, raw, real, like this. Like, I'm 48.
Oh my God. Are we on the same plane or what, Teresa? I just had a birthday a week ago.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. But, back to your question and realize your vision. I had a 20-year career in corporate. And actually, I had a choice between working for a large company or a small one, and I chose the latter. And lo and behold, I had no idea in my 20-year career with them that it was positioning me to do exactly what I'm meant to do today. And I have to tell you, I was sitting there, gosh, we're live. Are we going to get really real here, Teresa? I was sitting on the throne. Yes, the throne.
Yep.
And I had a job at a crossroad with a job that was perfect for me. I mean, it was perfect for me. And it was either that or start my own business. And I was taught, you go to school, you get a job, you become successful, and you'll be happy. Well, I did that and went above and beyond that. And I didn't have a life that I really loved. And so I thought, if I go back to a job that was made for me perfectly, it's like I've done that already. What's going to prevent me or support me in making the change in the life that I want? So I veered to entrepreneurship. It was really scary. And I was saying, I don't really like the fame or the limelight. It's really not about me. But I sat there going, if you're going to do this, God, it's got to be bigger than me. Like I can't go in there just Sheila Andres. It's not about that. And I was so frustrated trying to figure out what am I going to, how is my identity going to be like in this world? And then I sat there and like, all I really want to do is help these business owners who are visionaries realize their vision.
Oh, like, and I want to acknowledge you because what I'm hearing is that, like many humans, men, women alike, and you and I together, I married my corporate career, and people have heard me say it. I did. And that was, at the expense of potentially love and kids. Does it mean that's never going to happen? God only knows.
Yeah.
But I sold my soul to, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to even classify it. I sold my soul to the devil, yet, I learned a lot.
You lose yourself. I think what happens naturally is when you're highly aspired. And here's the problem. When you do really good work, that's when you just get sucked in and everybody throws everything at you, what they can't deal with, the problems, the impossibilities. And, God help me. I look back sometimes, I wonder, how did we climb those mountains? But the beauty of it is I didn't realize till later on, just chugging through this molasses of trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do here? What is the intention? And I'll tell you, 2 weeks when I left my job, this stranger comes in and hands me a card. I'm in the mall because I was getting my phone fixed. She's like, Sheila, she just, excuse me here. She gives me her card and goes, whatever just happened, you need to let that go because it's not what you're meant to do in this world. And now is your time. And little by little, a gentleman comes to me and goes, Sheila, we need to save small business. And I thought, why? And he's like, because they're dying. I go, I don't know what you're talking about. But at the time, it was 2016, and over 800 restaurants closed down in San Diego alone. And I had no idea what that meant for me. But in pure transparency, I had helped an entrepreneur, a startup, go from, serving California nationwide, multi-million, opened offices internationally. And yes, I lost my soul in the process, but I thought if I can help other people do this, I should be able to do it for myself. And when I really thought about it, it's like, what is it that you want to do? And I said, well, let's just be successful and then we can create jobs. And then we could take our success and infuse it in this nation's economy, do our part so that bare necessities like toilet paper would stop going up in prices and, people can have a decent living. But I also said, I want to give back and I want to do it without permission. But then God showed me, Sheila, what if you did that and helped 10 other entrepreneurs do that? Then the impact would be exponential. Wow. And I landed in the coaching space, and I won't lie to you, I don't know what hole my head was stuck in, but it was stuck in some dark hole. I thought coaches were soccer coaches, football coaches.
I know, right? I'm even going to take off my coaching hat for the moment. I'm just like, this is juicy good stuff, right?
You're gorgeous. Be you. That's perfect. And but what happened was when I stood there, there was a gentleman on stage. And I don't believe things happen on accident, right? And he's standing there and he's talking about, the world needs more leaders. It needs more influencers. You all have to start a movement. And I promise I had a come into Jesus moment going, God, what in the world am I doing here sitting by myself, listening to a man say we need leaders, like a movement? What is that? I mean, that's so big. This is like Martin Luther King, Gandhi stuff.
Exactly. And you're like me? Wait. God, I think you've dialed the wrong number. Could you text that to me? Because I'm not totally comprehend. I'm supposed to get the SWAT picket fence Where's that white picket fence that everybody says? Cinderella.
Oh my God, that white picket fence? It's like he put this glass bubble around me. And there's all these people around me, but I promise you, Teresa, I was sitting there, felt like isolated, and all these emotions just overwhelming this magnitude. And I had no choice but to sit there in kind of the feelings and the emotions. And I didn't question it. I just kind of rolled with it. And lo and behold, I realized everything in my life is kind of what I need to share with the world to hopefully inspire those, because we're going through the same stuff. But we're taught to hide that, to be ashamed of it.
Shame and guilt. Brene Brown is like, love me some Brene. I'm like, I'm going to just go to Houston, just sign up for a class. But the shame and the guilt and that cross that we try to bear. And again, because Lachelle and Patty and Carol and whoever else is watching, this is exactly the conversation that we women are now having. And thank you, because we want to know, yes, that a couple of days ago I was happy, and 3 days before that I was not wanting to take a shower and crying and going, oh, what am I doing?
I know. And it's crazy because when you think about those moments, especially when it's hard and life doesn't feel like it's where it needs to be, or you'd like more, there's so much learning from that. Do you know, like, I think a month ago I got kicked in the face, Teresa. Well, that's what it felt like. Like, life is falling apart. But can I tell you, in that, for the lack of the better word, that devastating circumstances and moment, sitting in it, in this solace, I felt empowered. I felt like I was beat up, but there was this development of resiliency. And believe it or not, I got my personal why. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. Jolts of lightning. It's coming down to me right now, Teresa.
Yes.
And the why was really, and I didn't realize it, but I remember years ago, even before I left corporate, saying, I'm not happy. And I wasn't there. I thought I had it all under control. I can balance life, but I was never present, Teresa. And I didn't have peace and joy in my life. And lo and behold, that's kind of what I got. But more importantly was, I didn't know how to love myself. That's what I learned. And a lot of that showed up. And I thought, I've got 2 girls. Who's going to show them how to love themselves? Who's going to show them and encourage them to find what makes them happy? Be honest about that and go find and create a life of joy. And in all that circumstances that hit me so hard, I had an opportunity to step up and show my daughter, this is how you love yourself. You stand your ground and trust that everything's going to be all right, because it is. But you don't give up on your joy. And we don't know how to love ourselves, but it's going after our true purpose in life. And believe it or not, I didn't even know that until, like maybe half our life is gone. I thought, is this too late to be starting over?
And I love that you say that, because I really want us to have a moment to be with that, in hopes of encouraging someone else that we, and I could go a lot of ways, because I'm highlighting you and you're extraordinary, to realize the vision, because I get like ooey gooey, good warm feelings about it. That in my travels and journey of life, is that I'm finding these women that are 40, 50, and they're like, we've been challenged by, are you fat, are you thin, are you rich, are you married, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever the magazine cover or the TV show or the Desperate Housewife or whatever shows us. And I love how you talked about your 2 daughters, and that this coming week, this next week or so, is I'm going to go back and teach in the high school, because I think there's like, I want to make a difference for us 40 and 50-year-old women, that yes, we've been young, but also to get back into the youthfulness of where we can be a leader. And I love that you said that.
That's so beautiful. And I'll tell you, the more and more that I embrace this movement that I'm really owning, and you guys, it's called StuckSucks.
Mhm.
Oops, I
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
Stuck sucks,
Mhm.
And
Okay,
the thing
it
here,
does, and I'm curious. Yes, it does, and I also love that you said, sometimes you got to kind of sit in it. You got to feel that molasses.
you do. So, what's interesting is I found my entire journey here was going, I cannot possibly be going through this alone. And there's so many, the truth be told, I've met some amazing, talented people. I love people. It's hard for me not to fall in love with you, to see all your strengths, your weaknesses, everything come together and not see that as beautiful. And what happens is, when I see other people, it allows me to somewhat see myself. And the ahas I get was, you know, we don't know what we don't know. And nobody's telling us how to navigate through life, let alone business. And they're so intricately woven. And what gets us stuck, even in business, has so much connection to the circumstances and beliefs that we have in our life. But I sat there going, what can we offer the world that supports people in their business journey? We talk about a journey, but do you really understand what that means? And I sat there going, the journey and the fundamentals really, you're touching on transformation, you're touching on strategies, you're touching on self love and care and spirituality. Like business is a spiritual journey. And if you don't find it, have a higher source now, you're going to find it some way or other, because it's almost like, how can you not move forward without this belief in some perfect source that loves you unconditionally, that knows what your deepest desires and will always provide what you need? And the other thing is, people don't think that they're powerful enough. But, with the movement, I'm here to tell you there's power in small.
Yeah.
David took down Goliath.
Yes, that is so good. It's so good. I mean, there's so many, people that I'm thinking of. Melanie Ake, AKE, is somebody I want to connect you with if you're not connected. She's doing a leadership around Proverbs and talking about how just some of these great things like Esther and Ruth and Mary Magdalene and Martha and all the women of the Bible that had this, that we are stepping forth, and it's like you and I get to be the beacon or the vessel and to share we're not alone. And just like you said, if your higher power isn't like a God or a God of your understanding, then we fall prey to money, gambling, food, alcohol, shopping.
Yeah, and you know what? The crazy part about everything that you described, Teresa, is you're going after it, but there's never a moment where you're satisfied, where you feel content, where there's joy in all of that. There's always this thing. And so, but the people that believe in a higher source, I know, absolutely have something there that they can always fall back onto, that makes them feel whole, that even in the yuck, they can find and feel to be consoled,
Yeah.
And the thing here is, when you look at the world, like, gosh, the world needs us now. There's so many problems in the world. I thought, how do we solve that? It's not just one person, but I thought, you know what? If one person just went off as an entrepreneur and went and became successful, then they can be positioned to then turn around and give back and make a difference. So be this little light and a positive ripple in the world. But imagine taking all these little Davids together, and imagine what kind of light that we could put into this world, and knowing that we're just all connected in that way. And if I just had a little inkling of being part of that, like, it's a complete honor, you know? So it's really just letting people know, embrace who you are, embrace your gifts, and know that it can make a difference. And then it's really also being smart. Like, people are so scared to go after what it is that they really love, even if they wanted to. So much stuff comes up in that fear, like unknowing. But when you're surrounded by people that actually mirror back to you honestly who you are, and you start to see that light for yourself, how can you not suddenly take what you just dimmed and ignite that into something bright so that you can move forward and do exactly what you were meant to do here? Because there's too many people in the world fighting to just have another day. And you and I are blessed because we get to be here
Yes.
and do something with our gift of time.
Absolutely. And golly, I hear so many good, juicy nuggets. And it just something came to me in what you were sharing is that I think back to literally historically. I love looking at history. And I think about, there were, let's just take World War One, totally pulling it out of the hat. There had to have been hurt and strife and war and all of those hunger and all those things then. I think we're now at a day and age where technology, we get the opportunity. You and I have a very unique opportunity where we can speak out and then it's going to be heard. We don't have to wait on the Pony Express. We're not a woman in those times where, you don't have a voice, you can't vote. And I'm not being like all that about women. I think women in our femininity need to unite with men in their masculinity and all of our gifts. And I just got something from what you're saying is if we can be the one in that ripple effect and teach others to fish or teach others to paint or teach others to lead, collectively, we can make a difference, and God will reward all of that in our suffering and in our joy.
I love that. And it reminds me, like, there's two things that come up. We sit there, and many of us are still so concerned about what other people think.
100%.
But when you turn around, you're like, what does that have to do with you and what you're going to do? Yes. Are you going to allow it to stop you? It doesn't change what you look like. It doesn't change. Well, if it changes how you feel about yourself, then you're allowing that authority. And it's really sitting here going, one message is, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Do you? Because you're the one that has to live with yourself. Nobody else does. And then the other thing there is, it reminds me, like, I had a conversation with somebody and they're like, so who's your ideal client? And I promise you, the word lost came in. And it's one of these words where it's like, I don't want to think that I'm lost. I don't want to say that I'm lost, or it has such a negative connotation to it. But at the end of the day, when I sat there going, I was lost, and there is no shame in being lost. It's being absolutely honest. I'm trying to do something with my life here, and I'm not sure because I'm down a path that I've never gone down before. And so when I sit here listening to everybody and I get confused and I feel lost, what's wrong with that? There's probably a lot of us that are lost if we came together going, you're just lost now, but let's help figure it out and draw you a map or guide you down the way that you need to. And it's about being smart, being honest and going, I'm lost, but this is what I need. And having that courage and commitment to go, this is what I need, and going after it. So much scarcity mindset and stuff. Sometimes like, who cares? Throw that out the door.
And something that just came to me in that is the courage to admit that we're lost, because we all are going to be lost. And how about we reframe it in the sense that, can we have fun in that being lost? Like, hey, we might experience and see a new house decorated for the holidays or whatever, but how about we're allowing people to help us navigate, and we're allowing people to be the lighthouse or the beacon or the guide. And maybe if we're having, wow, I want to trust in my faith, putting faith, faith in the hashtag, faith in the action in the faith, exchanging ideas and collaborating and not being afraid that I'm going to steal your idea or you're going to steal mine. I used to think that. I did. I used to think like that. I used to have that I drank the Kool-Aid. I want to be the best, and I can only be the best and climb to the career ladder alone. That's really what I thought.
I love that you shared that because believe it or not, it's gorgeous. You're so sexy right now, Teresa. You are hot. You know what? You inspire me to share. You know what I was ashamed of? To sit there and think, I have so much value and I'm constantly helping people, but I'm like, but you're not paying me. Mm-hmm. How horrible is that? It's like, it's a scarcity thing. Yeah. But the thing is, the more that you actually let go of that and show that I really do care about you, mm-hmm. and it's not about the money, then the money comes. It's all energy anyways. You know, it's crazy. And yeah, I just want to encourage people like that with the same mindset as you, Teresa. Just keep going, because collectively, you know, there is definitely power in small. I met so many amazing women, mm-hmm. and you know, their prayers are getting answered. It's crazy. I see that.
Yes.
But so many don't respond to it because they don't know, they don't have the discernment to understand your prayer just got answered. But because it's something that's not familiar to you,
yes,
they're scared.
Yes.
Or they won't move toward it. Or they're allowing the stuff that doesn't serve them to take over. But the thing here is you keep asking for it. It's just going to keep coming to you in one way or other until you say yes. You know, so how hard do you want to hit that wall?
Absolutely. Like bang my head. And I love that we're here and we're willing to be. And it's only, again, so we gave a shout out to Carol. Carol, she helps me produce this show. And she does it out of the goodness of her heart. And that initially, the guilt I felt in not really being able to compensate her in the way that I wanted, but yet we collectively bring joy and we bring our gifts. And it's that servant leadership where we can share with one another. And I can say, hey, I want to connect you to these 4, 5, 6, 10 women. And we can say, hey, I'm going to wave a white flag. I need a little bit of assistance. Or, sister, I need you just to be quiet and listen to me today. I'm just crying. I don't want an answer. I'm scared. I want to go, and this is kind of funny, I want to travel the world and entertain, but I also want to work in a flower shop. And I'm scared to say those, you know, like that's kind of the humility of, God, you're supposed to be all that in a bag of chips. How about if I'm not? Not always, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And you know what's crazy? I'm here to tell you and everyone that actually feels like that going, do you know how more than okay that is? There's something beautiful and gorgeous in accepting what makes you happy. And the fact that, oh, this bag of chips, who says? You are that.
Right?
But you are that. You are that. And here's the crazy part that, well, I say it's crazy because I could just feel it. You know, when you sit there, everything that's happening is for us. Like when people serve out there, they don't get compensated. Trust that everything will be rewarded. These moments were for you. They're for Carol. Even this is such an opportunity for me. Like I'm grateful.
Erin, Erin, I don't know Erin, you know, but she's definitely involved in this conversation.
Well, look at how gorgeous she is.
I know it. And she's got that good, fun person. And I'm just like, this is it. This is, how about we share? And I'm actually going to take this on. I just got this like downloaded. I'm going to really take it on, like share what I know. I mean, I've been to every conference imaginable. I own so many manuals and so many things that I kind of, I was resentful that I signed up for all that coaching. But now, wow, I have a toolbox. Why not share it?
Oh my God. Yeah. And you know what? What makes it unique is because all those things that you took on and learned, but now you get to share it your way, Teresa. Yes. Do you know how I just got goosebumps. See, Spirit says, yes, yes, Teresa, you need to do that because you're freaking remarkable. And what you take with your tools and how you share that, there's some people where if they went to the same coaching and got the same advice, it would be different than if maybe they received it from you. And so there's people out there that may need to hear it Teresa's way, because that's the way that they connect. We can't serve everyone. I've accepted that already. Not everyone will be a client. Not everyone will be a friend. Not everyone's going to like this human sock puppet. And you know what? It's okay.
Right, exactly. And that is, I swear, we as women, we need permission to be like, this is it. Like, here it is. And that's
Yeah.
okay. We can be in our raw, real. One day, no makeup. One day, we don't feel like taking a shower. One day, we're going to eat ice cream, and then intentionally want to try to eat healthy and empower your young girls and women, and collectively sit by the fire and hold each other, hold space for
Oh,
each
yeah.
other.
Absolutely. And there's so much power in doing nothing.
Yes.
I think people well, there's a lot of people that understand that, but there's also a lot of people that don't. And this world's always constant hustle bustle.
Mhm.
But what about really believing that I can do so much more with less? And I was exactly that hustle bustle, trying to do everything. I was going to kill myself if I
Oh,
stayed on that path, Teresa. And now my life is, I'm going to do what I can. And I'm doing so much more with less.
right.
And I just want to let people know there are others that are doing it, and you can too. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah,
I'm so
love
happy to meet
that.
you.
Yeah. Oh, I am too. And here's the thing is that we are at the end of the show, and that's just what, so you and I could talk, I know, for days on end, because this is just beautiful. And so I
Thank you.
always ask my guest or whoever it is that's on the show, what, Sheila, would you like to be acknowledged for today? And I would love nothing more than the honor of acknowledging you.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm not good at receiving, so
And
I'm
that's
gonna.
okay.
I know I'm gonna
Right?
practice
No,
this.
most of us aren't, right? This is how, again, put it out that we're willing to practice it so that other women can find some courage in us being willing. It's like Marianne Williams. No, it wasn't. It was, oh my gosh, that we're so scared of how powerful we're going to be. Who is that quote? Anyway,
Oh yeah, that fear of success, and
yeah.
I'm simmering in that right now. But I think it's really to let everyone know that you know, I just stand before you as just a normal woman. You know, I happen to be a wife. I'm a mother, but I'm also highly aspired an entrepreneur. And many times in my life, I was lost, and I didn't know how to love myself. So many times to think I wasn't important enough and worthy. But here I stand before you, and I'm here fulfilling my purpose in life to help entrepreneurs realize their vision, to have a movement that embraces small business success and letting that be a catalyst in the world. And if you are just ever in that space where you do feel lost, don't be ashamed about it. And if you want support in that area, I just want you to know that there's someone out there like me
Mhm.
that is there for you. And I open my doors for us to have a conversation.
Love it. I love it. So, Sheila, I'm actually
Yes.
going to change this to where we're up a little closer.
Woo!
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, because I really want to get this moment of being with you. Sheila, I want to acknowledge you. I want to acknowledge you for being vulnerable and authentic, for your transparency. I want to acknowledge you for being and representing what so many women may be sitting in stuck today, and that you've allowed them to see inside this world of who you are, that you're giving them permission to stand in their greatness. And you're also giving them permission to be who they are, despite the critics, despite anyone. And I really want to acknowledge you for being a mom that is really representing. It's, I'm sure, not always perfect, yet you're saying, hey, I was once lost, and now together we can be found.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
gorgeous. Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So how can people reach you? And that's how we'll close out the show, is just how people can get in touch with you.
Sure, just go to my website, realize-yourvision.com, and you can call me. I don't mind.
Absolutely. You can call me. Call me maybe.
Oh, don't even get me started,
I
Teresa.
know, right?
I'm
Like
a dance party right now.
I swear 2020, we are going to have this come togetherness. I just feel it. Feel the
Yeah.
fire.
And you know what? I'm going to put it out there. One day you and I are going to be able to meet in person. I can't wait for that
Absolutely.
moment. I can't wait.
Either. Hugs and all good. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Sheila. I really appreciate it. My name is Teresa Snider, and you guys go follow Sheila, get in touch, contact us both, and we will see you all again very soon. This is just the beginning. Mwah. Yeah.
Bye.
No more. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.